Let's bring in Senator John Barrasso right now. Senator Barrasso, I do want to begin where Senator Durbin just left off in those attacks from Senator Hawley this week. You met with Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson earlier this week, and you said, you didn't suggest how you were going to vote, but you said this should not be a process of character assassination. Is that what Senator Hawley was doing?
Well, these hearings are going to, and the whole process is going to be fair, respectful, and thorough. I did meet with her, clearly very intelligent. We talked about judicial philosophy. I talked about Justice Scalia, that it's the Constitution, a legal document, not a living document. We had a very good meeting. I'm less concerned about her statements than I am about Chuck Schumer's statements. He said she's going to rule with empathy. A judge ought to be making decisions based on the law as written, not the way they feel about it. So he also said, check her record. And going through the record, there are some concerns that people have about her being perceived as soft on crime. That's all going to come out with the hearings, but they're going to be respectful, they're going to be thorough, and they're going to be fair, George.
But do you think Senator Hawley's attacks were fair?
Well, he's going to have his opportunity to question the judge, as will all of the members of the committee. The last time we had a hearing with Kavanaugh, he was accused of being a serial rapist on no evidence whatsoever. So I think that we're going to have a fair process and a respectful process, unlike what the Democrats did to Justice Kavanaugh.
You also heard Senator Durbin on gas prices and inflation. Right there, he said it's clearly President Putin has to bear some of the blame. And he took on your comment about a climate elitist saying we have to take climate change seriously. Is he wrong about that?
Well, Joe Biden can't hide from the fact that he is the president of high gas prices, and they're looking for anyone to blame, whether it's Putin, whether it's Republicans, whether it's the energy companies, whether it's COVID. The Democrats have a very big problem with 40-year high inflation, highest gas prices ever. When Joe Biden came into office, it was $2.38 a gallon for gasoline. American families paid $1,000 more, George, for energy last year than the year before. And on polling last week, 70% of Americans say more American oil and gas and less emphasis on climate.
Let's talk about the war in Ukraine. What should the United States be doing right now that it's not doing?
Well, first, you just had Senator Durbin on. He and I were in Ukraine together in 2014, the day that Russia took Crimea. There's a bipartisan group of senators right now at the border between Poland and Ukraine. There is a bipartisan committed group in Washington, committed to helping the heroic people of Ukraine. So proud of President Zelensky and the courage that he has shown. And in Congress, we are trying to get the administration on board to a level that we feel we've filled the void in a bipartisan way. The president has had to be pushed and pulled to where he is today. It was Congress that brought about sanctions, that brought about the ban on Russian oil, that brought about weapons, and all of this big aid package that I voted for a week or two ago, $13 billion. So far, the administration has only released $1 billion of that. And I think if they'd done more in sanctions, we might not have been in this situation if they had done punishing sanctions before the tanks began to roll. President Biden is going to NATO this week. He's going to NATO this week, and if he wants to lead from the front, and America lead from the front, rather than leading from behind, there are three specific things he needs to do, in my opinion, at NATO this week.
What are the three specific things?
Well, number one is he needs to tell NATO that we collectively are going to supply the people of Ukraine things that they know how to use, whether it's drones, planes, missile systems. Number two, he has to say that he is going to go from Brussels to the Eastern Front of NATO to show the resolve of NATO and the United States commitment as well. And third, he needs to say to the people of Europe who are really in a tough situation with regard to energy and the dependence that they have on Russian energy, that we are going to increase the exporting of liquefied natural gas from America to them. Even Germany has come up to the fact that they said, look, energy security, George, is much more important than climate zealotry. The president needs to lead by saying we're going to increase production of oil and natural gas in the United States. We're going to send it to you. And that's what leadership is all about. I have legislation in a bipartisan way to make that possible.
Senator Barrasso, thanks very much for your time this morning.
Thank you, George.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.